Hi guys, so Sammy Wilson of the DUP asked Boris Johnson a question about border posts appearing, or the request for them to be built immediately in Northern Ireland. So let's hear what he had to say.
The Minister has stated that when we leave the EU at the end of this year, Northern Ireland will still remain a full part of the United Kingdom. Yet I have in my hand a letter received by the management of the Port of Larne only this week, stating that they have to prepare to become a border control post, and 14 acres of land has been looked at for car parking or for lorry parking and for construction, and there's a sense of urgency since these proposals have to go to the EU by the end of the month. Can the Prime Minister explain how Northern Ireland can remain a full part of the United Kingdom if people coming from the rest of the UK into Northern Ireland have to pass through a border control post? And would you advise the management to tear this letter up as well?
Mr. Speaker, I haven't seen the letter he described, but I can tell him absolutely categorically that there will be no new customs infrastructure for the very simple reason that under the protocol it's absolutely clear in black and white that Northern Ireland is part of the customs territory of the whole of the United Kingdom, and will be joining the whole of the United Kingdom in our new independent trade policy and doing free trade deals around the world.
So once again, Boris Johnson is lying. So, and of course, Sammy Wilson knows that he's lying, and I know that he's lying. So the posts that he's talking about are a requirement of the Brexit deal that was signed between the UK and EU. And this was part of Boris Johnson's insistence that the UK would leave the single market and the customs union. So under the terms of the deal, Northern Ireland will continue to follow EU rules and customs procedures. And this was to avoid the controversial border checks with the Republic of Ireland. Now, Boris Johnson, of course, has continually insisted that checks between Northern Ireland and Great Britain will be avoided. But if he has signed up to that, then how can he go around and say that it's not going to be the case? So these posts will handle checks on live animals and goods of animal origin. Border inspection posts will be constructed at these ports, for example, Larne and Warren Point. And there'll also actually be a border point constructed in Belfast itself. This has all been the requirement of the withdrawal agreement. This is the agreement that the UK and EU signed up to. And Boris Johnson once again is lying about it. Now, at the moment, it doesn't seem to be the case that it's going to be affecting people moving from the Republic of Ireland, from Northern Ireland to Great Britain, or people moving from Great Britain to Northern Ireland. At the moment, it doesn't affect people. So in a way, Boris Johnson is avoiding the question. But it does affect goods and some services. So at the moment, first of all, it affects live animals and goods of animal origin. So for example, butter or cheese or milk. So these products moving from between Northern Ireland and Great Britain need to pass through these checkpoints. Now the problem is not so much people but it's about businesses being affected. Northern Ireland businesses need to be able to freely move their goods across the border. They won't be able to do that. And the Northern Ireland organizations that represent businesses have been extremely critical of this. They've said it's going to be extremely damaging to their businesses and to the industry as a whole. But Boris Johnson agreed to this. Boris Johnson ran this through Parliament, and Sammy Wilson knows this. I think Sammy Wilson is attempting to save face, to show that he's doing something for his constituents. But the game is up. Boris Johnson has signed away the first stage of Northern Ireland as being part of the UK. The Northern Ireland is going to gradually continue on its road towards becoming part of the Republic of Ireland. And you can thank this man here on the screen. You can thank Boris Johnson for that. He decided, and his Brexit friends, that they would prefer Brexit to the Union. There was no other way around it. It was either going to be Brexit or the Union. So all of the Brexiteers who are cheering Boris Johnson on, well, you can thank those for the destruction of the United Kingdom. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. Why not become a Patreon and enjoy access to our Discord server where we share news, chat, and have some fun. If you become a patron, you can also make video suggestions on topics that are important to you. Check it out via the link in the description.